Our next important bill is National Anti-Doping Bill. National Anti-Doping Bill. Okay. The Parliament has passed National Anti-Doping Bill anonymously. Okay, in the Parliament on July 2022. This is 3 years back. Anti-Doping Bill was passed in Lok Sabha. Okay. So the bill was passed considering that legislative powers would put brake on doping bill. Okay. The legislation can put a brake on doping. Bill was introduced in December 2021 by Union Sports Minister Anuraj Thakur. Okay. So the bill seeks to provide statutory framework for the functioning of NADA, that is National Anti-Doping Agency, and National Dope Testing Laboratory in sports. So they are introducing National Anti-Doping Agency and along with National Dope Testing Laboratory in sports. Means dope test lab means the players will be tested for anything, substances. The Minister of Youth and Sports said India will now join League of Nations like US, China, France, Australia, Japan, South Korea, because India also started a dope test lab. Dope test lab and established WADA on lines of and established NADA on lines of WADA, World Anti-Doping Agency, on lines of World Anti-Doping Agency, National Anti-Doping Agency also established. So India is par with USA, China, France, Australia, Japan, South Korea now. Okay. So it also seeks to give effect to United Nations Educational, Scientific and Cultural International Convention, that is UNESCO Convention against doping in sports and compliance with such other obligations and commitments. So by making WADA and dope test agency, India is par with countries in the world and also at par with UNESCO Convention. So what is the aim of the bill? To prohibit doping. Prohibit athletes, support personnel and other persons from engaging doping in sports. What is doping here? It is use of substances, use of extra substances like drugs to enhance player performance. You might be heard of nowadays protein supplements, protein X, like that. Dietitians suggest to make a good health. Along with, suppose a person is in diet but at the same time he should not lose his energy. And he is planning to lose his weight, but energy should not go, he must not become weak. Then what the doctors give? Protein X. But in this also, doping means they add some drugs or substances that can enhance the player performance. Once tested only in the form of protein X, the player is going to take drugs. That thing the officials comes to know. Means directly not taking drugs, they are adding them into other substances and using indirectly nowadays. Many technologies has come, many medicines has come, products has come, in which they can mix the things, and sometimes it is even difficult in the text to reveal which drug the player has taken. So what are the key provisions here to prohibit doping? Even in athletes and athlete personnel, support personnel and other persons. What is doping? Already I told you, the substance that is used to improve the performance of players. Even though they are not very capable, with the use of those substances or drugs, they perform very well in competition. So important provisions of the bill include, bill help establishing National Board of Anti-Doping in Sports comprising of competent and independent personnel. It also seeks to achieve time-bound justice for athletes. Okay? It also seeks to achieve time-bound justice for athletes. Why? Because if the test is done today and tournament is tomorrow, if the result comes tomorrow morning, it is of no use to the athlete because he can't join the competition in this tension. So they have to give the test result in evening only. Then only with confidence the athlete can participate in the tournament. It will also enhance cooperation among agencies to fight against doping. Okay, it also helps the agencies who are working in sports field to fight against doping. Okay, it also seeks to strengthen India's commitment to fulfill international obligations. Like already I told you, India should meet UNESCO. India should meet UNESCO obligations, and at the same time at par with other nations. India's standards in sports must improve, so doping must be prohibited in sports to make it more transparent and efficient. So it will help in setting up a robust independent mechanism for anti-doping adjudication. Means a strong mechanism should come, and it must work independent. It must depend on the sports authority to take some decision. Suppose NADA is there, it should not depend on sports authority for the decision to come. If it is independent only, then only it can give fair results. And it must be robust. Robust means strong enough so that the authority can't do anything to NDTA members. Then only they can give a transparent result outside. It will also provide legal sanctity to functioning of NDTA and National Dope Testing Laboratory. So it also gives legal identification, means certification to both NDTA and National Dope Testing Laboratory lab. It would lead to setting up of more dope testing laboratories in India. So along with the dope testing laboratories will be established all over India in all centers where the tournaments are taken at a time. So that it will be comfortable to the players to conduct, get through a test before going to the tournament. Providing support in academic research, manufacture of things related to anti-doping. They also do R&D that will help in anti-doping. Anti-doping bill provides statutory framework in form of legislation stop doping in sports. It is a form of legislation that can prohibit doping in sports of India. So the planning, monitoring, implementing anti-doping rules and investigating anti-doping violations. So it also, the bill also supports planning, monitoring, implementing anti-doping rules and also investigate anti-doping violations. Suppose a player has taken some drug, so this violation should be identified so fast so that he can't participate in the tournament. Okay, investigation also needed. Key features of the passed bill: prohibition of doping. It also I already told you, it prohibits doping. The bill prohibits athletes, athlete support personnel, other persons engaging in doping in sports. Support personnel includes coach, trainer, manager, team staff, medical personnel and other persons who are working. Okay, supporting staff, coach, trainer, manager, team staff, medical personnel, everyone should be free of doping while participating in a tournament. They should not assist the sports player to take some substance. No violation of following rules. What are the rules? They should not violate some rules so that they can prove non-doped persons. So what are the rules here? Presence of prohibited substance on their markers in an athlete body. So like an athlete body, they should not find any needle marks. If they took some drug or something, then easily needle marks will be identified. Then the athlete will be sent to test. Attempted use, possession of prohibited substances or methods. Suppose they came into the stadium with a prohibited substance, then it's not allowed. It is violation of rule. Okay, like in the airport, you can't take some items, some knife like that. Okay, then immediately they will remove the item from your bag. Sometimes violation happen if you enter airport with some hazardous substances. Violation can also happen. In the same way for sports also, sports person also should not go to the stadium with some violated substances or drugs or items. Refusing to submit a sample. Okay, even though he did something, the test NADA personnel got doubt, they are going to take the test of the athlete. At that time, he should not reject for the test. If he reject, that is mean that he is using some substances or drugs. Trafficking or attempted trafficking in prohibited substances or methods. So, escaping. test, so they simply escape from the stadium. That will be treated as a violation. Aiding or covering up such violations. Even covering the violations by bribe, giving bribe to NADA officers, and even by setting the officers, so that even though they test the sample and they got the drug positive, they do not reveal that thing outside. So like that, settings also taken as violations. If any athlete requires prohibited substance or method due to medical condition, they may apply to the NADA. So suppose an athlete needed the drug compulsory because of his health conditions, in that case he must apply to NADA before only. In that case he is not tested again. So what are the consequences from violations? What will be the consequence of violence? Directly disqualification from the tournament. An athlete will be disqualified from a tournament if he proved he did doping in the sports. So seizure of prize also. Seizure of prize. Suppose an athlete won a tournament by cheating. Then his prize will be taken back. The prize will be taken back. Ineligibility to participate in a competition to be held and financial sanctions. Sometimes financial penalty will also be done. Suppose by winning a tournament, an athlete got 1 crore rupees. Then the 1 crore will be recovered by NADA immediately. So that because by winning the sport only he got the amount, sponsorship amount, that amount will be taken back immediately. Okay. Disqualification for violating the rules. Means main violations, disqualification and seizure of prize and financial penalty. Okay. Besides forfeiting medals, points, prizes, ineligibility to participate in competition or event for prescribed period, financial sanctions. So totally how many types of effects on the sportsman if he did doping? First of all, he will be disqualified to enter any other sport, means in next tournament, and his prize will be taken back, and he will get a fine equivalent to the won prize. Okay, financial sanctions. So what is World Anti-Doping Agency here? In November 1999, World Anti-Doping Agency is set up under International Olympic Committee. International Olympic Committee has set up World Anti-Doping Agency. It's recognized by UNESCO International Convention Against Doping in Sports. It has been even got the recognition from UNESCO International Convention Against Doping in Sports. WDA is primary. What are the functions of WDA here means? Its primary role is to develop, harmonize, coordinate anti-doping regulations across all sports. It takes care of anti-doping regulations in all spheres. In all sports, whatever may be the local, national, state level, all sports, the anti-doping regulations will be implemented by this. So, it does so by ensuring proper implementation of World Anti-Doping Code. There is a code for World Anti-Doping that should be followed and implemented everywhere, all over the world. And its standards conducting investigations into doping incidents, conducting research in doping, educating sports persons and related personnel on anti-doping regulations. So what is the functions of WDA here means? First of all, they conduct doping research and investigate doping incidents. And awareness, spreading awareness among sports persons so that they do not be cheated by some others. Okay, suppose an rural sportsman is there, he is in running section, he don't know much about drugs. So anyone can cheat him easily by giving a drug in his drink. So they will be given enough awareness so that they will not be cheated by mistake, also they do not take any other drug. And why doping research is needed means, nowadays different types of drugs are there. Some drugs do not even detect in test. They take the drugs but in test it will be negative only. It is like they do not take any drug. So in that cases, research is needed to find out how many types of drugs are there, whether in the test it can be find out or not, etc. thing, and investigate doping things uh, thoroughly. How means, suppose some culprits, whether they done or not, they do not expose easily. So to such type of culprits, how to investigate, how to bring the truth back, one separate training will be given to the investigation officers, and awareness to the sports person, so that they will not be cheated in any other hands. So WDA publishes list of prohibited substances at least once a year and distributes to all the signatories. So it publishes list of prohibited items at least once a year and distributes everywhere, so that the people will get awareness, the authorities will get awareness to test on which drugs. Okay, what is NADA here? National Anti-Doping Agency. It is established as a society. This is under certification. This is established as a society by government. So it implements anti-doping rules all over India. The bill provides for constituting this National Anti-Doping Agency as a statutory. It will be headed by Director General appointed by central government. Who is the head of this NADA now? National Anti-Drug Agency Director General. Okay, DG. He is the head of the NADA. So it is a national organization that promotes, coordinates, monitors doping control program in all forms in sports in country. This is similar to WADA, World Anti-Doping Agency, but World Anti-Doping Agency applies to entire world. This NADA keeps India under strict control. Means this applies to India only. Inside India, it takes care of all anti-doping activities. Okay, it monitors, coordinates, promotes doping control program in all forms of sports in India. It deals with the adoption, implementation of anti-doping rules, policies in line with the World Anti-Doping Agency. It is established by central government under Societies Registration Act. It is established under Society Registration Act. That's why it is having certification. What are the functions of NADA here? To make recommendations to the government in anti-doping regulations. Time to time it will bring the rules or regulations regarding doping. Currently, National Anti-Doping Agency performing anti-doping measures in accordance with norms of World Anti-Doping Agency. Means totally NADA works in line with WADA, whereas WADA applies to world, NADA applies to Indian territory, India. Okay, it works in line with the WADA. Whatever the anti-doping controls are there, it applies inside India. It was set up as a registered society under Society Registration Act of 1860 and 24th November 2005. It is established in 2005 by Act of 1860 with mandate for dope-free sports in India. The primary objectives are to implement anti-doping rules as per WDA, regulate dope control programs, promote educational research, create awareness. So the functions also same here. Create awareness among sports person, promote R&D, so that new types of drugs can be found out. Okay, and also investigation of doping incidences. The functions are same as WADA, but WADA applies the controls all over world. NADA applies the controls in India only. And the NADA also responsible for planning, coordinating, implementing, monitoring, advocating improvements in doping control. So it plans, coordinates how the implementation is going on, and new developments, new improvement suggestions will be provided. Cooperating with other relevant national organizations, agencies like CBI. Any drug mafia, drug racket is going on in a city, they will work with the CBI so that the mafia can be found out, so that the sports person will not get drugs anymore. Sports person can't get drugs to enhance their performance. So what are the powers of NADA? The bill gives NADA powers for investigation, levying, sanctions for anti-doping rule violations means fines on sports person in case of violation. See, if the drug is found in their body, or they reject to have a test, or they keep some setting with NADA officials by bribe etc. so that the crime do not come out. Okay, the disciplinary procedures. What are the disciplinary procedures? How much disqualification should be allotted to a sports person in case of doping incidences? Adapted and powers of inspection, sample collection, sharing, free flow of information. All these things are took care by NADA. So, who is the Director General of NADA? What are the powers of Director General? Qualification of Director General are not specified in the bill and are left to notified through rules. The qualification of Director General DG has not been specified in the bill. Okay, it will be implemented through rules of each and every state. Central government may remove the Director General from office on grounds of misbehavior or incapacity or any such other grounds. So, if a Director General misbehaves or he is not capable of handling things, then he can be removed by the central government. Okay, leaving these provisions to discretion of central government may affect independence of Director General. So, the Director General can't work independently. He depends on the central government for his actions. So, data related to athletes and doping. The agency have the power to collect certain personal data of athletes such as sex or gender, his gender of an athlete, medical history, whether he is having any previous diseases or any problems, so that he is taking some drugs into the body, whereabouts, his address, etc. Okay, things. Anti-doping appeal panels. The board constitute National Anti-Doping Disciplinary Panel for determining consequences of anti-doping rule violations. They are also having a panel, so to apply punishments in case of violations, whether to disqualify the athlete or take the prize back or money terms, keep a fine, etc. things are decided. Okay, the panel will consist of chairperson, 4 vice chairpersons, legal experts and 10 members, medical practitioners, retired eminent athletes. The panel of WDA consists of total a chairperson, 4 vice chairpersons, 10 members, okay, and medical practitioners, retired athletes. So totally the member till comes till 30. Okay, doping test laboratories. How the doping test laboratories are established inside India. Existing national dope testing laboratory will be deemed to the principal dope testing laboratory. So now we are having a national dope test laboratory in India. And government may establish more dope testing laboratories all over states. Okay, what are the key issues here? What are the limitations? Limitations of the bill here means under the bill the board has powers to remove members of disciplinary panel, appeal panel on grounds which will be specified by regulation and not specified in the bill. Means the NADA has power to remove members of panel. The panel can't work independently. That is a problem here. That's why they always depend on NADA. Further, there is no requirement to give them an opportunity of being heard. This may affect independent functioning of these panels. So, the panels can't work independently. That is a big effect here. Use of prohibited substances is exempted if needed for therapeutic use. So, therapeutically, a athlete can use drugs means he can show many number of medical certificates he is having some problems even though he is not having, because it is easy to get any certificate inside India by paying some amount, bribe. Okay, according to WADA in 2019, most of the doping rule violations were committed in bodybuilding followed by athletics, cycling. So, in bodybuilding, athletics, cycling, many people did doping. Many incidences were found inside India. Okay, and weightlifting also 30% incidences were happened. In consonance with UNESCO Convention on Doping, it also seeks to give effect to the United Nations convention against doping in sports compliance with other obligations. So there is a obligation to commit with world treaties. That's why India is forcefully making all these implementations. Okay, that's all. So what are the issues with the bill? What are the issues and limitations of the bill here means the Director General is not independent. He depend on central government. If central government feel he is incapable, then easily they can remove him. So he can't work independently. So the panel can't work independently, and the Director General can't work independently. That is the problem here. So leaving these provisions to discretion of central government may affect independence of Director General. Against the mandate of WDA. This also goes against mandate of WDA agency. Such bodies must be independent in their operations. So WDA feels that NADA must be work as independent thing so that the central government can't do anything like that. But actually it is not happening. WDA panels depend on central government, again the DG depend on central government. So it become a dependent organization. This is against the world treaties. Okay. It is like forcefully following. So powers of the board. In the powers of the board also there are some limitations. Under the bill, board has powers to remove members of disciplinary panel, appeal panel. So this point we already discussed. The panel is not independent. It depends on the NADA to work. Okay. No requirement of opportunity to be heard. Further, there is no requirement to give them an opportunity being heard. This may affect independent functioning of these panels. They even there is no chance for them to give a request to the NADA to consider them again. Okay, the NADA decision is final. So that is also a big problem, so that they can't work independently here. Okay. So this is all about anti-doping bill, friends. Hope you like the video. For many videos like this on our channel, please do like, share, subscribe. Thank you.